And yeah, just keep an eye on my laptop, making sure that's nice and that light stays on. Can you see it from there? Yeah, can you?
Yeah.
We should probably bring that down ever so slightly. Oh, sorry, this. Beautiful. Guys, if you're watching on YouTube, hello. We are going to get started in just a few minutes. I'm going to go live on Facebook in just a second. So just hang tight. If you're cooking with me, let me know in the comments, so you can pop in comments on the side and I can see what you're writing throughout today's class. You might see me kind of move between cameras, so bear with me. But yeah, do introduce yourself in the comments. Let me know where you are in the world and if you're cooking along with me today. I'm going to use a glove to mix the chicken, and I'm going to put that dirty glove in the bowl. So I think that's just going to keep it on the side, FYI. To anyone that's joining on YouTube, hello. Please let me know that you're here. I'm just going to log on to Facebook in just a second, and then we will get started. I just needed my glass of water. Great, let's get in. So just, Andy, if you just want to have a look at what I'm doing here. So when I click onto that, I've already got the title in there.
Yeah.
So then it says starting live video. And then we're on. You click on the comments, that speech bubble. And then you just, I've already pasted that.
Okay.
Go for that. Then if you hold that down, it should allow you to click pin comment. It's weird. It usually does. Hi to anyone that is logging in on Facebook. We are live. There we go. We're on. Bear with me. Hello. How are you doing? If you are logging in, for my regulars, you know what I always say. Please tell me where you are in the world. Let me know what the weather's like. It's looking pretty damn glorious in Birmingham today. Super, super, super sunny. And for you guys on YouTube, my little crew, my mini crew on YouTube, hello, how are you doing? Please let me know. Hi, Jules. Hi, Patricia. Let me know where you're tuning in from today. Hi, Dina. How's it going? Hi, Andy. Andy. So I have a glamorous assistant working with me today. Hi, Linda. Hi, Mark. Hi, Steve. Ian. Lovely. Hi, Denise. How you doing? Mark's in sunny Wigan. Let me know where you are in the world. Leslie, hi, how's it going? Jackie. Hi, Shirley from Tampa, nice and sunny. Hi, Louise, how are you doing? If you can, if you're watching on Facebook, if you can maybe do me a tiny little favor, if you can click the share button and maybe host a watch party on your Facebook page. Let's get everyone cooking and let's bring together lots of people and introduce them to the wonderful food of Indian cookery. So if you can click share on your page and share this live post out to your people, that would be fantastic. Just a tiny little favor. Bindi, how you doing? I hope you're feeling better. I know you're just watching today. Hi, Zara. Welcome. First time. So yeah, let me know if this is your first time. And also, are you cooking or are you watching? Hi, Jazz. Watching with the kids. Hi, kids. Hi, Ajay. Nice to meet you. Jules, you're in Northamptonshire. Patricia near Oldham. Lovely weather. It's nice, isn't it? Hi, Amelia. You're in Sutton Coldfield. You're not far. Maxine, I know you. Hope you're keeping well. Hi, Kay. We'll just let this populate a little bit more. And if you can just give me a like or pop me in the comments, are you cooking with me? Or are you watching with me? Are you going to just watch and then maybe cook later on? Hi, Fiona. It's your first time and you're in from Leicester. You guys are in lockdown, so I'm hoping I can entertain you whilst you're in lockdown. Are you cooking or are you just watching? Hi, Mum. Mum's tuned in. Hey, Yaz, you're cooking. Geraldine, you're tuning in from Glasgow. Kay, you're cooking with your 13-year-old Betty. Hi, Betty. How you doing? Welcome to the Spice Club live class. Fiona, you're cooking along. Fantastic. Really happy to have you. Very excited about today's recipe. I'm really happy that it's so sunny. Really, really nice. I'm quite pleased as well to let you guys know that I have a glamorous assistant with me today. Who, if you guys, any of you guys who are watching have been to our Birmingham class, you might have met the wonderful Andy. Come in, brother, Andy. Andy's not camera shy. Andy is my amazing, come in. Andy is my amazing kitchen assistant in Birmingham. He's sort of my right-hand man, make sure that I am doing everything properly. So please say hello to Andy. If you've been to a Birmingham class, you've probably seen him helping me. And little interesting fact about Andy is that he is a professional actor by trade. You might have seen him on TV or even on your screens. He's been in Hollywood. Just saying. Claim to fame, claim to fame. But yeah, fantastic. We'll give it 2 more minutes and then we'll get the party started, guys. Everyone's saying hi, Andy. Cool, lovely. We'll give it 1 more minute. So if you are cooking along with me, I did post the ingredients list on the Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter. On Wednesday, I have asked you to prepare the ingredients ahead of time. So things like onions, if you could just make sure that they're finely chopped. Your ginger and garlic, I've asked you to grate them. So if you are still getting your things together, that's fine. But if you wouldn't mind prepping, and that will just allow you to cook along with me. And then we'll all hopefully have a wonderful dish at the end at the same time. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, let me know if you are cooking or if you are just watching. So Andy, if you can just keep those comments scrolling. Yeah, that's perfect. Lovely. Hi, Andrea. How you doing? Good to have you on board. I think, is it your first time tuning in? Cool. All right, we've got a good number. Let's get started. Okay, cool. So what I usually like to do, I know we've got quite a few newbies in. I will introduce myself. That's what I like to do. My name is Monica, and I run the Spice Club, which is an Indian cookery school. I have a location in Manchester, and I also have a location in Birmingham. And the ethos for me, when I started the Spice Club, which is a very long time ago now, it was to really showcase what home-style Indian cookery is all about. So we're talking Indian food that I have been cooking for years. It's been passed down in my family, recipes that I've learned from my grandma, who passed them down to my mum, who passed them down to me. Thanks, Mum. And also, we're talking regional recipes. So Indian cuisine is incredibly vast, as the country is so huge. And wherever you go, from region to region, the cuisine really does differ. So different regions use spices in different ways, and they create completely different flavors. So with my cookery classes at the Spice Club, I always like to focus in on a specific type of region. So when you come back, you learn something new. And yeah, that's what the Spice Club is all about. So that brings me nicely to today's class. So today I'm going to be doing exactly that. I'm going to be breaking down how to cook delicious Indian dishes and demystify the cuisine that is Indian cuisine. A lot of people find it, a little bit intimidating when they open an Indian recipe book. It's really easy to see a long list of spices and get kind of put off. It can kind of seem like this long, laborious task, especially something like butter chicken, which I think requires a little bit of skill in balancing spices and flavors. So I'm here to kind of give you my helping hand and we'll get through it together, okay? So let's talk about butter chicken. Butter chicken is a classic Indian dish. I feel like butter chicken, when you hear butter chicken, you instantly think Indian cuisine. It's synonymous with Indian cuisine wherever you go in the world. Pretty much most people, if they don't know Indian food, they definitely know butter chicken. Give me a like in the comments if you have had butter chicken or butter paneer. I appreciate we have some veggies in as well. Have you all eaten butter chicken or butter paneer at some point? Let me know in the comments. Is that a yes? I'm pretty sure most of us have at some point. It's also called mud makhani or paneer makhani, and makhan basically just means butter. Okay, so it's a direct translation. Okay, so if you are cooking along with me, we are going to start on, if you're cooking chicken, we're going to start on the marination. Okay, so if you are using paneer, by the way, I'm just going to let you know that you just need to ignore this bit. This is the marination stage that we're simply going to do for chicken. Okay, so if you are just hanging tight with the paneer, just sit tight for a second. We'll come back to you in a moment. For the chicken, guys, which I imagine is probably most of you, and I'm seeing that most of you have eaten. I'm getting lots of whys. Yeah. Okay, cool. I've got chicken here. I've asked you to get 1/2 kilogram, 500 grams of chicken thighs, and we've cut these up into bite-sized chunks. Okay, so you guys can see that in here. The reason why we marinate the chicken is to get that chicken lovely and flavorful, penetrate that yogurt, get it nice and tender, and it's a really easy marinade. Now, a few of you sent me messages earlier in the week saying, oh, Monica, do we need to marinate the chicken ahead of time? Now, ideally, yes, the longer you can leave your chicken in the marinade, the better, but I want to walk everyone through the steps of marinating if you've never done this before. Essentially, what we're doing right now is making tandoori chicken. So the first step to making butter chicken is to make tandoori chicken. Then we make the lovely buttery, creamy sauce, and we add the tandoori chicken into the sauce. So it's kind of 2 dishes in one. So if you've never made tandoori chicken, you kind of nailed this.
There's a question saying, should I marinate corn?
Corn. If you're doing corn, you don't need to. No, I would just say for chicken, because it's quite a hard protein, you just marinate the chicken. If you're doing corn, just leave that on the side. So yeah, I do encourage questions, by the way, and Andy is going to be helping me go through questions today as well. So ask as many questions as you like, because we have 4 eyes today instead of 2, which is incredibly helpful. So the first thing that I'm doing is adding the Greek yogurt to the bowl. Now I'm using Greek. You do not have to use Greek, but Greek yogurt has a lovely creamy texture and less water content, which is what we want. So Greek yogurt's in the bowl. Next thing that we're going to add in, guys, is our grated ginger and grated garlic. So I just use a little microplaner. You can use a blitzer. That's perfect, and that's going to go in next. So ginger and garlic paste. This is going to add lovely flavor and a really nice zestiness as well. Speaking of zestiness, I've asked you to prep half a lime. We're probably just going to need half of your half, which is a quarter. I can do maths. A quarter of your lime is going to go in to your chicken. So this just adds gorgeous zestiness, a little bit of freshness. And now we're going to add in some seasoning. Now the seasoning, we're going to add in, first of all, some salt. Generally speaking, 1/2 kilogram of chicken needs about a level teaspoon of salt. Okay, so in that goes. And next thing we're going to do is add in, now I mentioned on the list, Kashmiri chili powder. Now if you don't have Kashmiri chili powder, don't worry. It's not the same as using normal chili powder. It's probably closer to paprika. So the beautiful thing about Kashmiri chili powder is that it adds gorgeous flavor. So you know that orangey red color you get from butter chicken? This brings a lot of color, but it's not very hot. So if you are ever in the Indian supermarket and you can get your hands on Kashmiri chili powder, and you want 3/4 teaspoon of that, get that in there, okay? Like I said, if you don't have Kashmiri chili powder, you can use paprika as well. It's just basically going to add warmth. It's going to add color, but it's not going to be overpowering in that sort of scratchy, chili kind of way. Next thing that we're going to add in is some garam masala. So this is the Spice Club homemade secret recipe garam masala. If you don't have this at home, do any of you guys have it, by the way? I know a couple of you have ordered this week. Let me know. But if not, just use your box standard garam masala. Just saying, it's just not the same, Andy, is it?
No, it's not. No.
In terms of the garam masala, you're going to add in, let's go with half a teaspoon of garam masala. And then lastly, for a bit of colour and a bit of earthiness, turmeric, which has bags of ingredients. If you come to a cookery class, I go on about turmeric. How long do I talk about turmeric for? And the benefits of turmeric. You're just going to put in about a quarter teaspoon of turmeric. Okay, I'm all over turmeric and the health benefits of that. Last thing we're going to do is add some oil. One thing that I probably should have mentioned at the beginning of the class is if you could just make sure that your grill is preheating at maximum temperature. That would be ideal. Okay. Patrick's just saying that we're not streaming on Facebook. We definitely are, Patrick. Maybe just give that a quick refresh. So yeah, we're going to add in some oil. We're going to do 2 tablespoons of oil. Now I've just got a sunflower oil. This is really neutral. You could use an olive oil. You could use vegetable oil, whatever you like to use at home. We're good on Facebook, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, just make sure that your grill is preheated at the maximum temperature. I did mention that in the comments, but I just want to remind you all, just in case. You're probably not quite as forgetful as me, okay?
If you're using homemade garam masala.
Oh, yes, guys, I feel like the message has gone through. Garam masala is really important. Give this a quick mix whilst I'm talking, by the way. Using homemade garam masala makes a big difference because you know what spices you're putting in the blend. Sometimes you can buy pre-made garam masalas, and a lot of companies, you know, to kind of make it cheaper for their customers, they start to add filler ingredients, so things like, I don't know, onion powder, ginger powder, garlic powder, things that don't really belong in there, just to bulk it out. So I always, you know, really recommend making your own. Now I've used chicken thigh for this because it has extra moisture, it's got extra flavor. Ideally, in a butter chicken, you do not want your chicken to dry out. So marinating it helps, even if you're using breast, of course it will help. But if you can use thigh, it is really the most tender and juiciest part of the chicken. So always recommend using thigh. And you should be able to smell that wonderful flavor coming through already from the marinade. So give me a like if you are where I am. And now we're going to get our lined tray, and we're just going to transfer the chicken to the tray, and we are going to get that in the grill. Now, just coming back to those with paneer, one little thing that you could do just whilst you're waiting, if you want to, this is optional, you can actually toast your paneer on a hot, dry pan and just get a little bit of colour on the paneer cubes if you want to. It's completely optional, you don't have to do this, but whilst you're hanging out, if you want to add a bit of texture and flavour to your paneer, if you just get a frying pan, a non-stick one, and just get it on a high heat and just saute your paneer cubes on there, it will just add a nice little skin like when you grill halloumi. So that's one option for you. But if not, that's absolutely fine. I'm going to go in with the spatula, okay, because every little bit counts. And Mum is watching, and I'm going to get the eyebrows if I leave anything in the bowl. And you don't want Mum's look with the eyebrows. And Mum's watching as well, so yeah. Zero food waste, that's where I'm at. All of this marinade has gorgeous flavour, so we do not want to waste any of that flavour. And do you mind just taking that to the sink, Andy, please? Thank you. We're just going to spread that chicken as much as you can. So you can already see that lovely colour coming through on the marinade, which is lovely. So spread the chicken out as much as you can. We're going to try and emulate a tandoor oven. So I know Jules is watching, who always has the barbecue fired up. So you can stick this on the barbecue, you can skewer it, and this is going to be delicious on its own. It is barbecue weather right now. Are we all good? Any questions on what spices went in?
Yeah, so people asked about, can they have the garam masala recipe? Also, do you sell the spice with the tin?
I do, yeah, you're asking all the right questions. So if you go to spiceclubuk.com and just go to the shop, you can get this beautiful spice tin, and it has the homemade garam masala in there. And the homemade garam masala is also for sale on the Spice Club shop. So yeah, not a problem at all. Beautiful. So this tray is now going to go in the grill. We're going to place it as close to the filament as possible. This is going to help us achieve that element of tandoor oven. So tandoor ovens usually get to about 400 degrees. They're very, very hot. Our conventional ovens and grills do not get up to that temperature. But what we can do is we can preheat it maximum temperature. So if yours goes up to 230, 240, get it right up there, whatever your maximum is. And you're going to place this as close to the filament as possible, as close to the heating element as possible. And we're going to give this, mine gets to about 220. I'm going to give this 10 to 12 minutes. Let's go 11. Okay. Yeah? Go in between. Yeah. And what we're looking for is the chicken to be cooked all the way through. So it should be completely white, and it should have a nice slight char in there as well. So if you wouldn't mind doing that. Can I also ask you to wash the spatula if you don't mind?
Can they use pizza oven as well?
You can use a pizza oven, yeah. Is someone asking that?
Yeah.
You can, yeah. Pizza oven would work really well because you're going to get that lovely high temperature. So it's going to cook quicker. You're not going to need the whole 10 to 12 minutes. If yours goes up to 240 to 250, just keep an eye on it, okay? You will need less time than what I will need. If you're going on the barbecue and skewering, again, you're going to need less time, okay? Christine, I can do a very quick once-over for the spices that went in the marinade, no problem at all. So in the chicken, we had ginger, garlic, and 2 tablespoons of Greek yogurt. We then added about a teaspoon of just normal salt. We added in 3/4 teaspoon of paprika or Kashmiri chili powder. We also added in about half teaspoon of garam masala, roughly. And we added in about 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric. A little bit of lime went in there, and a couple of tablespoons of oil as well. Okay, so give me a thumbs up, pop a little Y in the comments if you are where I am right now, if you're cooking along. Jules, no barbecue today. That's not like you. Jules is possibly one of the original Spice Clubbers. He's been coming to my event since day one, and I started the Spice Club as, not as a cookery school, but as a pop-up restaurant. So my mum very kindly allowed me to invite strangers into our home for dinner, and we would do these 5-course supper clubs, serving up delicious home-style Indian food. And Jules came to, I want to say, maybe our 2nd or 3rd one. And Jules loves to have the barbecue up sort of 365 days of the year. It doesn't matter if it's raining, doesn't matter if it's cold. Jules is always on the barbecue. So yes. Also, if anyone is watching who's been to a supper club with mine or pop-up restaurant, let me know in the comments. Gillian, you came years ago. Did you come to our one at home, or did you come to one at an external venue? Cool. I've seen a lot of thumbs up and a lot of Ys in the comments. Great, that means that we're all on YouTube as well. So we're going to get started on the butter chicken masala. Okay, so making this and mastering this is it's taken me personally a little bit of time to perfect, because there's this balance of making sure that you've got the creamy factor, you've got a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of heat, but not too much heat. And I feel like this is, I've got it, I've nailed it. I like to think. We'll find out.
well, I find out.
Yeah, exactly. Andy is looking forward to digging in a bit, aren't you? So I've got my pan on. I've got a sort of nice heavy non-stick pan. And we are going to add in some butter to begin with. So it's called butter chicken, so we're going to add in some butter. Now, if you are trying to make this dairy-free, or you just don't want to add butter, if you feel like that might be a little bit calorific, it probably isn't the dish for you, to be honest. But, I mean, what I'm trying to say is you can go without the butter. You can totally just add in oil, and that's fine as well. Gillian, could you substitute cauliflower for chicken? Yeah, you could do. You could roast it, and you could add it in the masala. I think that would work absolutely fine. It's I probably wouldn't make the masala quite as rich. You could slacken it slightly, but yeah, I would marinate it in the same way. Make a tandoori cauliflower, And then once the sauce is ready, you can add it in. Yeah. So I'm going to go for about a tablespoon's worth of butter. That's going to go in. I'm just going to melt that down. So this is going to be a nice rich sauce. I'm also going to add in roughly around about, I will eyeball this, roughly about 4 to 5 tablespoons of oil. So we've got quite a bit of onion. So we want to make sure we've got plenty of oil in here. The dish should not be swimming in oil, but you do not want to burn your onion, your ginger, your garlic. I sometimes find when my students come to my classes, they're always, thinking, oh, that's a fair bit of oil in your pan. You need to make sure that you're going to get the gorgeous caramelization of your onions. So make sure you have enough oil in your pan. Someone has asked, Deal butter. You can use either. I'm using butter today. You can use either. You can use a combination of both. Right. Gonna get that butter melted down. Yeah, just feel free to interrupt me if there are any questions. You know me, Andy. Just put in whenever you need to. Otherwise, I'll carry on talking. Right. Okay, whilst that butter is melting, we're going to talk about the whole spices that we're adding in here, guys. So I've asked you to prep some cinnamon stick, or this is cassia, which is actually the bark of cinnamon. You can interchange between cinnamon and cassia. So I've got that, and I'm just going to keep that on the side. We've also got 4 green cardamoms. If you have a pestle and mortar, which I do have here, we're going to pop that in, okay? And we're also going to pop in cloves. And we're going to just use our pestle and mortar to very coarsely crush everything down. So if you feel like you've had a long day or a long week, now is the time to just bash it all out on those 4 green cardamoms. If you don't, you can just use the back of a knife or press down with a knife flat with your hand. Leslie, you can use ghee, you can use butter, you can use oil. The reason why I suggest that you bash your whole spices down is to really allow it to infuse better in your oil. If you just throw a closed cardamom pod in your oil, there's only a very limited amount of flavor that's going to come out of there. So by just bashing it down, and I'm going to keep the skins in. I love the flavor that continues to infuse. If you don't like fishing them out at the end, you can just take them out now and just use the insides, but maximum flavor, so I'm going to get all of that in there. And we're also going to throw in the cinnamon or cassia. We'll save the black cardamom for later on. Give that a really good mix. As soon as those broken down spices hit the hot oil and butter, you should be able to, how good does that smell?
Yeah.
It smells really good. You should be able to smell an instant hit of warmth and delicious sort of warming spiced flavor coming through. Lovely. So once they have cooked for about 10-15 seconds, we're going to add in our chopped onions. So I asked you to very finely dice your onions, not rough chunks. We want nicely diced. And we're going to mix that in the oil and butter. Now, it's interesting with Indian food, when you're making meat curries, by the way, guys who are making paneer, I should have mentioned, you are doing this. We're all doing this together now. We're making the masala. One thing that's interesting about the way that you cut onions to make things like paneer curries, meat curries, can really make a big difference. And people don't think about how you can chop an onion and how that makes a big difference. I will tell you why in a second, but before I do, if I can ask you guys, please, to add in a level teaspoon of salt to your onions. So I've got roughly about 2 medium onions. It's about 170 grams worth of onions. I always like to weigh my onions because I feel like in some recipes it can say 1 small onion, and your small onion might be 40 grams and mine might be 60 grams, and that will affect the salt, it will affect the spices. So I always like to weigh the onions.
Yeah, Monica, there's a question. Can we modify this recipe to make a chicken tikka masala? Are they different, or how different are they?
It's essentially very, very similar. Chicken tikka masalas tend to be maybe a tad bit sweeter, less heat, maybe a little bit less butter. essentially it's the same. Yeah, it's kind of a name that we've put on here in the UK. And are we all following, guys? Are you where I am? Let me know. Pop a Y in the comments for me. How are we doing on YouTube, guys? Are you guys all where I am? We're just going to let these onions cook down until they are soft. We're actually not going to get them super brown. If anyone watched the mud masala with me, that was at the beginning of lockdown, when we made mud masala, I asked you to really caramelize the onions for about 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, really brown them. But with this one, we're not going to do quite as much browning. We're also next going to add in the ginger and garlic. So I've got ginger that's grated. I've got garlic that's grated. I appreciate this is yellow on yellow, which is not ideal. Sorry. But yeah, ginger and garlic grated. About 3 cloves of garlic. I just micro grated, and ginger. So when you see your onions have softened slightly, you add the ginger and garlic in.
So how many onions have you put in the pan?
I put 2 medium onions, roughly around 170 grams. So just coming back to how chopping your onions can make a difference. So if you, for example, thinly slice, very long, thin, vertical slice your onions, those onions are very quick to cook. They don't take long to cook at all. If you dice them, they take a bit longer. And if you make them into a paste, so it's like an onion paste in a blitzer, it takes even longer to cook. And what's happening is when you're chopping the onions, you're releasing water. So when you've got onion paste, it creates an even smoother sauce, but you'll find that you'll need to cook it for a lot longer, okay? So just be mindful of how you cut, and the consistency can massively differ. If you're using long, thin slices, that's usually for a dry dish. If you're going finely diced or you're going for a paste of onions, that can create a nice saucy dish. So just small little things that can change the consistency of your curry. So your onions should be smelling pretty damn good right now. I feel like, and I say this a lot in my classes, the smell of fried onions, even if you're not hungry, if you can smell onions being fried, it just makes you instantly hungry.
Yes.
It really does. So we're going to get a little bit more colour. The reason why I asked you to add salt at the beginning was simply to help accelerate the cooking process of your onions. So when you add salt, it helps to draw out the moisture, and as a result, it will help them cook a little bit quicker. So just keep an eye on them. If you ever feel like your pan is looking a bit dry, you guys on YouTube can see, add a little bit more oil, add a bit of water. Make sure that your onions are nowhere near burning, charring. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bitter flavour. Okay, so I've been holding this in my left hand for a little while. What have I got here? These are optional. This step is completely optional. But these are my cashews that I've been soaking. I'm going to stop talking. Andy is bringing over the chicken. How good does that look? So the chicken, if I can show you, if you just ever so slightly close to the camera, Andy, thank you. It's got a slight char on the chicken. It's cooked all the way through. This is perfect. The yogurt has released a little bit of its water. That's okay as well. We're just going to keep this on the side, and we're going to use all of that in our sauce once it's done later on. Yes, Andrea, the pestle and water spices went in with the butter and the oil right at the beginning. You can add them in now if you want to, but any later than this would probably be a bit too late. Okay, so coming back to the cashews, chicken cooked. Yeah, turn off your grill now, guys. Are we all good on YouTube as well? Let me know if your chicken is cooked. Obviously, if you've got your paneer, just keep that on the side for now. We're just going to come back to the cashews. If anyone feels like I am going too quickly, by the way, please do just say, and I will slow right down. Cashews have been soaked. This is going to now be transformed into a cashew paste. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this in the ingredients list, but if you can fish out maybe a little mini food processor, if you have one, you could also do this in the pestle and mortar, but ideally, if you've got a little food processor, I don't think I put this in the ingredients list. Apologies. But yeah, if you don't mind just grabbing a food processor, I'm going to just put my onions on a slightly lower heat because I don't want them to burn. but they are just getting a nice golden colour on there now. Let me just show you the pan. Got a slight nice golden colour on there. And whilst those onions are continuing to cook, we're going to pick up the processor and we're just going to add in the cashews. Okay, we're not going to add the water in yet. So I'll just show you before I add the water in. My soaked cashews are going in my food processor. Thanks, Winifred. Cashews are in here. Now I'm just going to add in, from using the water that I've soaked the cashews in, we're going to add in maybe enough, just enough to cover the cashews. So I'm not going to use the whole amount. I might need it, but I'm not going to use it right now. And in your processor, let me see if I can move this a little bit.
Can we use cashew butter out of a jar?
Just make sure what the ingredients are. Has anything else been added to it apart from cashew? I imagine there's probably some element of oil or some preservative. Providing that that's mostly cashew, you should be fine. Just check the ingredients in the jar first. Yeah, all you guys know, Tefal Mini Pro. I absolutely need to get some commission on how much I love the Tefal Mini Pro. I'm addicted to this machine. Yeah, Bob, you can use a pestle and mortar, a little bit of water, and just grind that down until you have a nice paste. Obviously, this is going to be quicker, so we're just going to give this a quick blitz.
Just checking, has the contents of the pestle and mortar gone in yet?
Yeah, right at the beginning with the oil. So you want to hold this down for about 20 seconds or so. Perfect. This has created a nice cashew cream. Keep an eye on your onions, make sure that they're not burning. So like I said, I've reduced the temperature of mine. So we have our cashew cream ready. That's basically, it should look nice and smooth, which mine does. Almost like a cashew milk, if you will. Slightly thicker than a milk. Just to show you on YouTube. So that's lovely. This is going to add creaminess. It's a really amazing dairy-free way of thickening the sauce in a healthy way. None of this corn flour, malarkey. Not for a butter chicken. We want maximum flavour. One thing that I haven't put in that I should have mentioned at the beginning. I don't know where my brain is today. I did mention this is optional, but if you have got a little bit of nutmeg powder, you can add this in. Ideally, it should have gone at the beginning, but we're going to add it in now. And I'm just going to add in about a 1/4 teaspoon of the nutmeg powder. If anyone did have that in, and you might be wondering, Monica didn't mention that. That can go in now. Okay, the onions look pretty much perfect. We're now going to go in with the 2 elements of tomato, all right? Shirley, you have your Ninja, but is it as good as the Tefal Mini Pro? Is the question. I'm sure it is. Jackie, it is the best, isn't it? How are you doing, Jackie? Jackie came to Manchester and did a private one-to-one cookery class in our kitchen in Manchester. So with our private classes, you get to choose the menu. You have the kitchen to yourself, and we have an amazing afternoon together or morning together, and then that food is yours to take home. You can sit down and eat it with us. You can take it home with you and share it with your family. It's really fun, really, really good. So before we talk about tomato, we're just going to talk chili. I've got 2 bird's eye chilies here. There's an element of heat and warmth that we want to bring into this dish, but we don't want it to be overpowering, okay? So we're going to, if I'm using 2, I'm going to just halve one of them. So I'm going to slit, you can see there. Yeah, you guys can see. Okay, so we're going to slit down the middle, and I'm just going to halve this chili. So this way, and I'm going to toss that into my pan. This way adds warmth without too much heat. And with this chili here, I'm going to finally chop. So when we're finally chopping the chilies, we're adding intense flavour into a pan in terms of the heat. I never de-seed my chilies. I feel like Poor chili. It's spent so much time growing, and then we just go, right, well, we're just going to de-seed you. All of that gorgeous flavour is actually in the seeds and the spongy membrane in the chili. So don't do that to poor chili. Don't de-seed him. If you don't like it spicy, just use less chili, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah.
A quarter chili is half a chili. Don't de-seed the poor chili. Okay, so your onions should have got a little bit browner. Your ginger and garlic, we've cooked out that rawness. The chilies have gone in there now, and what we're going to do is just come back to that tomato that I was telling you about. Okay, so I asked you to prepare a tablespoon's worth of tomato puree, all right, which I have here. So this is double concentrated from the tube, and then I've got about 8 tablespoons of passata. Now, this is where this dish differs slightly to my normal meat curries. Ordinarily, especially if you've been to one of my cookery classes before, I harp on about not using too much tomato in the meat dishes. How much do I talk about that?
Yeah.
Just how much tomato people put into their food in this country when they're making Indian food. They just kind of start chucking in a tin of tomatoes, and they're like, "This looks like a curry." Not everyone does that, but I'm saying I've seen that a lot, and it really can completely change and dilute the flavour of your Indian dishes. So we use passata. This dish uses more tomato than a normal chicken curry. So you're going to add in your tablespoon worth of puree. Any questions that I'm missing out?
No, just one quick question. Has the cashew paste gone in yet?
It will go in after the tomato. I haven't forgotten. I forgot about the nutmeg, but I won't forget about the cashew. So a tablespoon's worth of the concentrate and about 8 tablespoons worth of your passata. With a dish like this, I always say make sure you get a really good quality puree and a really good quality passata. It's worth paying an extra 20, 30, 40p because this is supposed to be quite a tomatoey and creamy dish. And I've tried all different types of passata, and just sometimes, often I find that just paying a little bit more with passata does help. That's not always the case with all ingredients, but with this, it absolutely is. So now we can really see this glorious base beginning to form. And now is when we're going to add in the cashew paste. So just give me a quick yes in the comments. Let me know that you're here with me. Hi, Rachel. Hello, Ruth. How are you doing? It's good to see that Ruth's still here. When are you heading back to, is it Cyprus? Oh, we got the spatula, Andy, if you don't mind. Fabulous. One step ahead. So your cashew is going to go in. You don't have to put this in, guys. This is just, if you have got it in, it will just help make this even creamier. Look at that. That's just gorgeous cashew cream going in. Thanks, Nikki, Martin, Shirley. You're all with me. Is that Paula saying that she's not with me? Paula, do you need me to slow down or go over anything?
No, Paula answering a different question.
Oh, right. Okay.
Grahams, yes. Leslie, Sarah,
Brilliant.
Leslie, yeah.
Fantastic. Hi, Kay. How you doing? Didn't see you there before on YouTube. Right, this is the time that we're going to mix this cashew cream in with the tomato masala.
Can we use ground almond?
Yeah, absolutely. You can use ground almonds. Maybe mix that with a little bit of water, a little bit of milk, create a nice paste. So this is beginning to look like a butter chicken. No extra colorings. There's so many restaurants that add extra colorings, and it's just not ideal. Now, I asked you to have a handful of coriander. So I'm just going to chop this. We're going to add some of it in now and some of it in right at the end. I'm going to bring the temperature up slightly and just allow this to cook whilst we're chopping the coriander. Okay?
Mike is still catching up.
Okay, Mike, take your time. I'll go over anything you need me to. Interesting history of butter chicken, by the way. It's actually not a very old dish. Butter chicken is not a dish that you'll really hear people say, well, this recipe was passed down in the generations of my family. My great-great-grandma used to make it. No great-great-grandma was making butter chicken. Butter chicken, actually, it's a very new dish. It was established in the 70s, the mid-70s, 1970s. And it was actually created by a gentleman, a restaurateur in Delhi, in New Delhi, in India. And this restaurateur, his restaurant used to specialize in tandoori chicken. That's what his restaurant was famous for. I'm just letting my sauce just cook off here, by the way. It's on a medium heat, not letting it overcook. And what he used to do was, obviously, tandoori chicken is cooked in a tandoor. It's skewered, the chicken is skewered, and it's put into a massive clay oven. And he used to get his chefs to skewer the tandoori chicken, and he would hang it above the tandoor, ready to cook. And what he found was, often, if his restaurant wasn't busy, he would have loads of these skewers of tandoori chicken just going dry, and they were unsold. I've never told you this story before, have I? Is this a new story for you?
Yeah, this is a new story, yeah.
I've told Andy a lot of stories. He keeps hearing the same things at every class. This is a new one.
Yeah.
And what he thought was, well, my tandoori chicken is just getting dry, and I'm not selling it. So instead of making less, he decided to create a really lovely buttery sauce to put the tandoori chicken in, and that would add moisture. So to get that dry chicken, and he would put it in the masala, and it would refresh that tandoori chicken. And he found that he served it to his customers, and they absolutely loved it. And he decided to start just intentionally making it as a dish for customers, and it started flying out. It then went, I guess, viral in the 1970s, whatever viral was then. And it caught on, and it just went crazy, and globally everyone started enjoying butter chicken. So that's the story, that's the history of butter chicken for you. Now, at this stage, I can begin to see the oil begin to seep out at the edges of the pan. I'm now going to add in the spices. So spice-wise, we're going to add in garam masala. We're coming back to the homemade garam masala, a level teaspoon.
Has the coriander gone in?
So we've added half of the fresh coriander. Yeah, we'll add half at the end. We've got coriander powder going in next, a level teaspoon of that. We have got a little bit more, either paprika or chili powder. I'm just going to put in a 1/4 teaspoon, or you can add in paprika if you think that it's going to be too hot already. Also going to add in about a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric, again, just to bring out that gorgeous colour. I'm also going to add in a couple of sips of water just to help slacken everything. So literally a couple of sips. And I haven't put salt and sugar in. I am going to. I'm just going to taste it first. So your masala should be looking really creamy right now. That tastes very good. I'm just going to add in just over half a teaspoon of salt. Salt's always to taste, but you need to make sure you have a base level of salt, because salt is actually a flavor enhancer. It helps bring out the flavor of your spices. For those who bake, you might add salt to help bring out the sweetness, and in a similar way, the salt helps out bring out the flavor of our spices. Next thing is sugar. So I'm going to add in 2 level teaspoons of sugar. I'm going to help bring out the sweetness. And just give that a mix.
Oh, there are a few requests on recapping the spice.
Yeah, that went in the pan.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. So if you are where I am, bring your heat down to low, because I'm just going to start talking, and just get that masala bubbling on a low heat. So we did a level teaspoon of garam masala. We did a level teaspoon of coriander powder. We did about a 1/4 teaspoon of either paprika or Kashmiri chili powder. If you like it really hot, you can add a bit more. And then about a 1/4 teaspoon of turmeric powder. I also added in an extra half a teaspoon of salt, and I added in 2 teaspoons of sugar. Next thing that we're going to do, guys, is we're going to add in the kasuri methi. This is sun-dried fenugreek leaves. If you don't have this, don't worry about it. But if you do, this goes in every butter chicken dish. It adds incredible flavor. So whenever you have kasuri methi, which are these sun-dried fenugreek leaves, it's not fenugreek powder, it's not fenugreek seed, it's very specific sun-dried fenugreek powder leaves. We're going to use our fingers, or you can use a pestle and mortar, and you want to grind that down into a powder. So really work that in. So I'm going to do 3 generous pinches. So what I'm doing is really working that into powder. I think a few of you have done my recipes before. We've done this with a few of our dishes now, with the kasuri methi. 3rd one. So just work that into a powder first, and then. Now my sauce has really begun to thicken, so I'm going to add a tiny bit more water. I'm also going to add in my cream. So I've got some heavy cream, or you can use double cream, and we just need roughly about 2 to 3 tablespoons of cream.
What's the difference between Kashmiri chili powder and normal chili powder?
Yeah, so Kashmiri chili powder is made from Kashmiri chilies. They are the most prettiest looking dry chilies, actually. They come from Kashmir, which is a very cold region. The Kashmiri chili, when it's ground down into powder, is incredibly red. It's so vibrant, like paprika. Okay, most other chili powders are a bit darker in color. And this Kashmiri chili powder is not very hot. So if you even taste it, it's not very hot. Don't taste it, actually, because if you're not expecting the chili powder, yeah, you might not like that flavor. Yeah, it's just not that hot. It's very mild and gives gorgeous color. So somewhat similar to paprika. I'm going to add in 3 tablespoons of cream. You can also use Greek yogurt. If you are using Greek yogurt, make sure your pan is on a low heat. You do not want to split the yogurt. Give that a mix. And now we're going to add in our chicken. So guys, this is what your sauce should look like. This glorious, buttery, creamy masala. Allow the spices to cook.
Andrea is asking if you can use, she has fresh fenugreek.
Yeah.
She use that. She asked, I have fresh.
Yeah, so if you're using fresh fenugreek, will go. You need to cook it out for a little while before you can eat it. So if you're going to add it in, wash it, dry it, finely chop it, let it cook in the masala for a good 5 to 8 minutes. Let that cook. It's like a spinach almost, and then add your chicken in.
Dina asking if I'm using yogurt, shall I use natural or Greek?
Greek yogurt. Yeah, you want to use Greek yogurt for this. The creamier the better.
Asking what about the black cardamom?
Yeah, that's going to go in at the end. Don't worry, I've got you. So this is what the sauce looks like. I'm going to add the chicken in now, and now you can add the paneer in. Any more questions?
Yeah. How much cream did you put in?
About 3 tablespoons.
About 3 tablespoons. If we got no cream or yogurt?
You don't need to put anything in. Then if you put the cashew cream in, that will do you. It's just to add a bit of creaminess. Okay, I'm adding in all of that gorgeous juice from the water that's been released from the yogurt. That is pure flavour. I'm also going to deglaze this tray with a little bit of water as well. How's your pan smelling? How's your kitchen smelling? Because my kitchen, which is my living room, smells pretty incredible right now. So once your chicken or once your paneer is in, this looks so good right now. So good. We're now going to bring this on a medium heat. So I deglaze the pan with about 3 or 4 gulps of water. Okay, about a 1/4 cup, about 60 mils. So basically, the chicken is just about covered in the sauce, or the paneer is just about covered in the sauce. And if you're adding peas, you can add the peas in now as well. We're going to come to our black cardamom. I'm actually going to put the lid on this if your pan has a lid.
Is there no more lime going in?
There is, don't worry guys, I got you. The lime's going to go in. Okay, black cardamom, if you have this to hand, we're now going to bash this up in pestle and mortar. Black cardamom, guys, if you're not familiar with this, it's sort of like the bold big brother of the green cardamom. It is incredibly naturally flaky, smoky, not flaky. And it's wonderful for adding a lovely smoky aroma. I am going to just use the seeds. I will keep the skin, the husk, because whenever I boil rice, I add this to the water and it adds a wonderful flavour. So seeds are inside my pestle mortar, just going to give that a good bash down. So it's like almost into a nice powder. Oh, I love the smell of that. Smell that. How intense is that? It's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing.
So good. Chicken is bubbling away. Everything smells so good. Look at that. Look at the smoke and the bubbling. Yeah, Michael, you can use black cardamom powder, absolutely. Yeah, Paula, that's right. When you use the yogurt, turn your heat down. Gemma, you don't need to add green cardamom. You've added it in at the beginning. The only reason why I'm adding black cardamom right now is to add just a little bit of a smoky flavour right at the end. You do not need to actually add it in. Okay, black cardamom is in. Little squeeze of lime going in. You can use the remainder of our half from the beginning, so about a quarter. This is just going to cut through the richness and just lift it slightly. Oh, that smells amazing. And we're going to do another handful of fresh coriander. So I made some steamed rice beforehand. This also goes really well with naans. If you ever come to a tandoori masterclass at the Spice Club, you will learn how to make proper naans. Okay, finally chopping my fresh coriander. Yeah, Kelly, you can use lemon juice instead of lime, absolutely. And with this butter chicken, I really like to let it sit and let it rest for about 10 minutes before I dig in, just to really allow the flavours to settle, allow everything to balance. That cardamom has added a really lovely smoky flavour. And you can always taste and tweak. If you added not enough salt, you can add it now. If you want to make it spicy, you can still add chili powder. Just going to finish off with some fresh coriander here. If you want to add a bit more lime, go for it. If you want to make it a tiny bit sweeter, of course you can.
Can we use lemon juice instead of lime juice?
Yeah, you can do.
Can we use smoked paprika instead of black cardamom?
No, I really wouldn't. I think that would be overpowering, to be honest with you. Of course, you can try it, and if you like it, cool. But my experience with using smoked paprika and Indian food, I just find that it really overpowers everything else in the dish. So this is what you're looking for, guys. We are got this gorgeous, bubbling, coated butter chicken. It just looks glorious. If you want it creamier, and I don't think you'd want it creamier because this is very creamy, you can go creamier. If you're using cauliflower, whoever mentioned cauliflower was at Helen, I would probably slacken this ever so slightly. It might be a little bit too much, a bit too rich. But yeah, give it I always say to everyone, because everyone's tastes are different, taste it, tweak it. That's good. That is, the butter chicken is good now. That's so good. And I'm going to turn this off now. What we're going to do, I'm just going to go grab our rice. Or Andy, if you wouldn't mind bringing that over. It's amazing having an Andy. I feel like Andy, you should be on the ingredients list. Like one Andy. He just is here whenever you need him. So I made some rice with some onions and some peas just before the class started. We're now ready to dish up. Let me know if you guys are here, where I am. Are we all done? Have we given everything a quick taste? Have we tweaked that chicken? If you want, actually, ideally, I'd probably give this another 5 minutes in the sauce. But I am going to dish up in front of you because I can't just stand here for 5 minutes. I mean, I'd love to stand here for 5 minutes, but I have a hungry husband who's walked in when I'm serving up. Mr. Camera Shy. Hi. He has just finished a night shift and has been sleeping all day, but I think I've woken him with the smell, the aromas of this butter chicken. Time to serve up, guys. I always conveniently come downstairs at the end of the live, like, oh, hello. Oh, it's a live today, is it?
Yeah, everyone's saying it looks delicious.
Yeah?
It's amazing.
Good. I'm going to do a healthy portion, is what we say in India. A mountain of butter chicken, This is, I just want to put my face in this. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing to say? Want to put your face in the bowl of butter chicken or butter paneer? For those of you who've made paneer, how is it looking for you?
Chris is saying hi to Dad.
Chris.
Chris.
Also, hello. Supposed to say hi back?
Yeah, hello.
Hello, he says hello back. Okay, we're now going to finish this with a little bit more cream. This plate's quite hot. Okay, so a nice little drizzle of cream. Make it nice and chefy. If you want to serve this with a wedge of lemon, you can do as well. And of course, some fresh coriander as well. So, here we have Monica's butter chicken. Super creamy, super decadent. And yeah, like I said, I just want to put my face in it. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's recipe. Have we got any questions before we end up?
Graham asking how much per hour I charge.
Andy, send me a DM. We'll work something out.
Yeah, everyone's saying it looks amazing, it tastes amazing, and with penne and peas as well.
Oh, great.
Chili.
Fantastic.
Looks brilliant.
Good. Well, I hope that you enjoy. I hope you've enjoyed making this, or if you've just watched this, I hope you've enjoyed watching. This recipe will be live. Well, you can watch the live whenever you want. Just log on to my Facebook page and go to the live section. You'll be able to see today's live. You'll be able to see the last live. I think this is the 11th live class, which is quite cool. So you can catch up on all of those. The full written recipe for the butter chicken will be going up on my website, spicediary.com. Okay, that's going to go on tomorrow morning. So you can always find the recipe for this. I'm off to feed this to the boys. I am working on an incredibly exciting project right now. I will be revealing. Should I reveal a sneak peek of it?
Yeah.
A little sneak peek. Do you think I should? Not now, but stay tuned. If you sign up, there's a link in the comments, and I'll put a link on my next post on Facebook page in about an hour's time. Please sign up to the mailing list, and you'll get an exclusive look into. Should we give them a sneak peek? I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. You'll get an exclusive sneak peek on what I'm working on. I can't wait to reveal what it is. But yeah, working hard behind the scenes. Cookery School will be open very soon. An email will be going out shortly to everyone about new classes in Manchester and Birmingham. If you're interested in private classes as well, please send me a DM. Maxine, really looking forward to having you and your family join me in Birmingham in hopefully a few weeks. And you and the family are going to come and join. Otherwise, thank you so much. I'm going to pop a post up on Facebook in the next hour. Please send me your photos of your recreation of butter chicken. I would love to see what yours look like.
Did you mention a cumin rice in the ingredient list?
Yeah, so this is my cumin rice that I've made here. This is what I've served it with.
Is that on the diary as well, the way how you cooked it?
It is spicediary.com. If you type in rice or cumin rice, you'll find the recipe for that as well. Okay. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you have a lovely weekend. There is a link to the online tip jar in the comments if anyone would like to help contribute towards future lessons. That would be really appreciated. Should I stop talking now?
Let's eat.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I hope you enjoy the butter chicken or butter paneer. I'll see you next time. Take care, guys. Bye. Say bye, Andy.
Bye.
Say bye, Debs.
Bye.
Yeah, he's here. Cool. So I will switch off on YouTube, which is... Thanks, everyone on YouTube. Great to see you. Thanks, Kay. Enjoy your paratas, Jules. I will see you soon. Okay. This is always a bit tricky. There we go. Thanks, Fiona. Take care. Bye.